Hello everyone. In this video we will see PTE speaking tips. With these tips you will be able to score 79 plus easily in speaking module. I am going to talk only on the important tips, templates and how we have to do this task in the exam. But if you want the detailed explanation, please watch my other videos of each task that I shared. Okay, let's start now. These are the tasks that we have in speaking module. In all these tasks, the score is calculated based on content, fluency and pronunciation. Though content is not much important in speaking, it helps to score for reading and listening sections. Therefore, concentrate more on fluency and pronunciation and at least 50% in content. These are the number of questions that we get in each task, and the time allowed to complete this section is 30 to 35 minutes. Make sure the microphone is in a position which does not capture your breathing noise. Something like this. Keep it at 1 inch left to your lips. It should not near the front of your mouth and not below or above the nose. Test your microphone by adjusting the volume and ensure that you are hearing your voice clearly. Take as much time as possible and don't start the test until you are comfortable with the mic. Speak some words such as hyper, fashion, exhaust, and make sure you are not hearing your breathing sound because it will affect your speaking score negatively. Fluency and pronunciation. To maintain the fluency and pronunciation, we should practice the below points. Intonation, phrasing and stress. We should rise and fall wherever required with the proper rhythm. And for long sentences, we should break the sentence appropriately and stress on important words. Do not fumble or stop in between and don't repeat the words. Even if you do mistakes, that's fine. Keep going. And start speaking exactly after hearing the short tone, not before or after few seconds later. Understandable to regular speakers. You should not eat the words. Each and every word should be understandable clearly. But the accent can be yours. Don't try to follow the accent of native speakers. Just use your own accent. PTE software is intelligent enough to understand any accent, but you have to pronounce clearly. Pronounce past tense. Even the words end with ed, past tense words. Plurals and consonants should also be sounded well. Let us see each task in little detail and do a sample exercise. Read aloud. You have a maximum of 40 seconds to prepare and 40 seconds to respond. Read the passage once softly during preparation time. During the preparation time, speak out the passage once. Don't read in your mind, because we will be able to speak fluently in our mind, but when we speak out, we may fumble. So practice speaking outside, but speak softly. Read the difficult words couple of times, and most importantly, read the first phrase once or twice in the last 5 seconds. Because when we hear the beep sound, we may get nervous and start fumbling. But if we repeat something that we already spoke, we can speak smoothly. That's why it's better to use the last 5 seconds to read the first phrase. Try to complete the passage within 20 to 25 seconds, because that is the ideal speed that you can follow. And you have to follow the same speed even in describe, image and retell lecture. And don't pause even for a second, as it will affect your fluency marks. Click the next button and the confirmation message yes or no immediately once you are completed speaking. You have to follow this in all the speaking tasks. Let us quickly see one example. During the preparation time, speak like this. Trump has threatened to declare China a currency manipulator, but experts say he has legal or economic basis to take such a step. He has also threatened to impose a tariff of up to 45% on Chinese imports if Beijing doesn't behave a move that could lead to a trade war and damage the economies of both nations. So you have to prepare like this. Always keep in mind to practice the following in preparation time. Reading the difficult words couple of times, such as manipulator. Know where to break the sentence, that is giving a little pause even if there is no punctuation. Concentrate on grammar such as is, was, articles, past tense words such as mentioned, relieved, sound of words such as wouldn't, would not. Pronounce as it is. Rise and fall wherever required. Don't correct the words and keep going even if you make mistakes. And finally, read the first phrase in the last 5 seconds to avoid fumbling, because sometimes we may fumble when we start speaking the first line of the passage. Let us read this passage now. Trump has threatened to declare China a currency manipulator, but experts say he has little legal or economic basis to take such a step. He has also threatened to impose a tariff of up to 45% on Chinese imports if Beijing doesn't behave a move that could lead to a trade war and damage the economies of both nations. Okay, I have completed speaking in 20 seconds. You can practice this either in Road to PTE or realpte.com. I have done a couple of samples in Read Aloud video itself. You can check that as well. So here if you see, the ED part should be pronounced properly. Articles, plurals, it should be experts say. And pronunciation. This is economic and this is economies. You should read it correctly. And numbers as well. This is 45 and speak as it is. It should be doesn't and you should not speak like does not. Repeat sentence. In repeat sentence alone, we have to follow the same intonation and stress similar to speaker, unlike other tasks in speaking module. Don't change the sequence of words. Try to speak in the same sequence of words, but don't correct if you make any mistakes. Split the long sentences into phrases so that you will be able to remember easily. But if you don't remember, try to speak whatever you heard without interruptions and pronounce the words clearly. You can follow any method either by closing your eyes and visualize the sentence, or write first half of the sentence and remember the second half. Otherwise, write the first letter of each word in the notepad. Follow any of the method which you feel is comfortable. Let us see some examples.
Physics is a detailed study of matters and energy.
Physics is a detailed study of matters and energy. This is a small sentence. Here if you see, this is detailed. It can't be detailed study as it will be a grammar mistake. Sometimes we may not hear the ED part, but even then we have to speak correctly. If you understand the meaning, you will be able to speak without any mistakes.
Rules of breaks and lunchtime vary from one company to another.
Rules of breaks and lunchtime vary from one company to another. This is a medium sentence, so break it into two.
I wouldn't like tomato and cheese sandwiches on white bread with orange juice.
I wouldn't like tomato and cheese sandwiches on white bread with orange juice. This is little difficult as this is a long sentence. But don't worry about the content. If you don't remember, speak whatever you heard, but pronounce properly. You can speak like, I wouldn't like tomato on sandwiches with orange juice. Or you can speak, I wouldn't like cheese with orange juice. Speak whatever you remember. However, if you split this into phrases, you can remember easily. It's like, I wouldn't like as one phrase, tomato and cheese sandwiches as other phrase, on white bread with orange juice as third phrase. If you split like this, you can repeat all the words. This is orange juice. Don't merge it as orange juice as this will be considered as an error in pronunciation. Next we will see describe image task. Write the template in the text pad. In some centers they may not allow you to write before the exam. Therefore write the template at least the first few words of each sentence and remember the rest. If you use the template, you will be able to speak fluently and solidly for 35 seconds. Otherwise, we may get confused on what content we have to speak from the image, which one is important, and whether we are able to cover all the information. So we may end up in exceeding 40 seconds response time. So don't speak more than what is required. And remember, in describe image, content is not important. Therefore, whatever you speak for around 35 seconds fluently. During the preparation time, capture the heading, 3 words, 3 numbers and 3 colors and do a quick rehearsal along with the template. And also practice the difficult words once. This is an image of a bar graph and this is what the template I was talking about. Here mention what type of image it is, whether it is a bar graph or line graph or whatever it may be. If you don't know what image it is, just mention it as picture. Here the heading is list of sales by income, words such as New Jersey, New York and Chicago, and numbers such as 19,000 and 17,000. It's fine even if you don't mention exact numbers if it is difficult, but pronounce the numbers properly, like 1000, not 1000. For currencies, mention as $20 million instead of $20 million or $20 million. Also mention some colors from the picture. And finally, heading in the conclusion, which is the essential part. Let me read it once. The image in front of me looks interesting and fascinating. Let me take a closer look, and by looking closely I can see it is a bar graph. The heading provided on top of the picture is list of sales by income. There are some words in this picture, namely New Jersey, New York and Chicago. There are some numbers in this picture such as 19,000 and 17,000 in dollars, with some colors provided such as grey, black and yellow. Overall, it can be concluded that this image is having crucial information about the topic, strongly supported by important facts and figures, and have great impact on income. I was able to complete in 30 seconds, and if you don't have enough information, try to frame whatever you see in the image and place it into the template. Let us see one sample on how to speak if the image has less or no information. This is a picture. Heading is simple circuit with light. You can mention the words as battery and bulb, and since numbers are not there, you can mention as details such as arrows, lines, positive and negative, Colors are white, black and gold, and in conclusion mention the topic. So this is how you have to frame quickly if you don't see any details. Let us see Retell lecture task. Read the instructions carefully, otherwise you may get confused with describe image task, because sometimes the Retell lecture also comes with the image. Here also write the template, but write it in a table format, so that you can use the same template for any number of items. I will show the table format in the next slide. And don't use any difficult words which you are not familiar with. Use the words which you are able to speak easily to improve your pronunciation score. And careful about your handwriting, as sometimes we may not understand our own handwriting if we write quickly. Don't capture more than 5 phrases, as it may exceed 40 seconds if you concentrate more on content. 4 to 5 phrases will do for gaining listening score as well. Actually, since we have only 10 seconds preparation time, we will not be able to frame the structure. Therefore, write the phrases into the template during the time when audio plays. You can use the 10 seconds time to recall the notes that you have taken. Okay, this is how we used to write in the exam. If we write the template like a table, we can use it for all questions. I will show you how I used to take notes when the audio plays. Here, just for displaying purpose, I am going to type instead of writing. But in the exam, we can't type like this. So take the notes in the given notepad. We will see one example now.
So, what do we mean by well-being? Health, happiness, a sense of achievement and contentment, a state of mind and body where people can thrive. Well-being is not something that is purely limited to people who are facing extraordinary challenges in their lifestyle, health or personal circumstances. Everybody here has a level of well-being. Music so often forms an intuitive part of our well-being management. Music to pick us up, music to calm us down, music to heal our sorrows. Our aim, through research, is to move from this level of intuitive application of music through to informed use in our communities, to take the next step in the understanding of the power of music in human life. Music already works for us on so many levels, whether it's soothing and teaching our infants, bringing people and communities together, adding spirit to our work and personal endeavors. But there is no reason to stop here.
Okay, here I typed entire word of all phrases, but we can't write it in the notepad as it takes time. So for long words, just write the first few characters. For example, for the words such as achievement, communities, just write only achieve and COMM for communities. But make sure you will be able to remember those words during your response time. Okay, let us run the recording bar now. So during the 10 seconds preparation time, try to speak the phrases whatever you have taken notes. Well-being, health, happiness, achievement, music calms us down, human life brings people, communities. The main idea of the lecture was about the impacts of well-being. First and foremost, the speaker was discussing health, happiness and sense of achievement. He then talked about people facing challenges and how music calms us down. Finally, he mentioned understanding the power of music in human life and how it brings people and communities together. Overall, it can be concluded that this lecture is having crucial information about the topic, strongly supported by important facts and figures, and have great impact on well-being. Okay, I was able to complete this in 29 seconds. This is fine, but try to speak for at least 30 to 35 seconds. So this is the ideal pace that we can maintain in Retell lecture, which is similar to read aloud and describe image. And this is how I have written actually in the real exam. I have written the conclusion part on the top to make sure that I have enough space if I get even 3 or 4 questions. Answer short questions. This task is completely based on general knowledge, but this is code for your speaking and listening vocabulary skills. Therefore, if you don't know the answer, simply repeat the question, because if you keep silent, it will affect your fluency mark negatively. We can find a lot of questions in the internet, and you can practice from real PTE, road to PTE or any other sources. Stick to the answer. The answer to the questions will be either one or couple of words. The questions will be chosen like that. So don't give any definition, as it will not increase your marks. Moreover, if you have doubt on which answer is correct, provide both the answers with a little pause in between. PTE software will pick the correct answer and ignore the other one. Here are some sample questions and answers for this task. You can pause the video and check these out. Well, that's all I have for speaking module. In the entire speaking section, don't pause even for a second. Speak continuously in your response time and click next once you are completed speaking. Don't concentrate much on content. If you think about content, you may lose in fluency and pronunciation. If you want to understand each task in detail, you can watch the corresponding videos in which I have talked about understanding the task, scoring structure, what mistakes we commonly do, how to practice and improve ourselves. And most importantly, I have worked out some samples for each task which gives you exam-like feel. I have shared the links for all the speaking tasks in the description of this video itself. Hope this video gives some useful tips. Thanks for watching.